Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are when you see this. Thank you for joining me, Dorothea, on Through an Orthodox Christian Lens. It's July 24th, 2025, here in the evening. And I have a bit of a story to share with you. And it's still in the book on Saint Joseph the Hesychast. His life story, but it's a very interesting portion that I wanted to share with you regarding a monk that was his disciple. So I'm just going to read this short little piece for you. I got a lot out of it, so I wanted to share it with you. Despite Elder Joseph's attempts to remain unknown, his reputation as a great ascetic began to spread. As a result, various laymen and monks started to come to him with the desire to become his disciples. Even though he was unhappy about losing his peace and quiet, he didn't have the heart to send them away. He welcomed them all with the hope of passing on to them some of the treasure he had found. The first layman to become his disciple was from northern Epirus. His job as a layman was to burn wood and make charcoal. Yerunda made him a great schema monk and named him John. As time passed, however, Father John fell away from precise obedience. Yerunda said to him, "Father John, do some more prostrations." "I can't, Yerunda," he answered. Since Yerunda saw that Father John wasn't succeeding in doing his spiritual responsibilities, and since he knew that idleness is the mother of all evils for a monk, he said to Father John, "Fine, then do some handicraft because we have expenses." "I can't, Yerunda." What could Yerunda tell him? You can't force someone to become holy. Yerunda means a holy elder. It's a name and a respectful way of talking about an elder. You can't force someone to become holy. So he gave in and said to him, "Fine, my child, do whatever you can." Father John was constantly disobedient, and Yerunda was very sad about that. Since Father John wouldn't listen to his advice, Yerunda left the matter to God and prayed for him. A true disciple is not afraid of falling into delusion, because the humility of obedience eliminates the right of the demons to delude him. When the evil enemy of our salvation saw the disobedience of this young disciple, he seized the opportunity and laid a trap for him. One night, while Father John was sleeping, a demon knocked on his door and said, "Through the prayers, get up, brother, and say your prayers." The cunning demon did say the words, "through the prayers," but he didn't dare say the rest of that customary prayer of our Holy Fathers, Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on us and save us. He only said the initial words that do him no harm, "through the prayers." Since the voice was telling him to do something good, Father John thought it must be his guardian angel, and he puffed up with pride. He thought to himself, finally I have reached a high spiritual level. So he got up and began doing his vigil with zeal. But he didn't tell Yerunda anything. The next evening, the same thing happened. This was repeated every evening in exactly the same way. Once the demon had filled him with pride, he also gave him zeal to pray, since prayer without humility is nothing in God's eyes. Father John believed that he was speaking with his guardian angel. After some time had passed and the demon could see that Father John had swallowed the bait, he started teaching him ineffable mysteries. The monk couldn't see the demon. He could only hear his voice. Naturally, one of the first things the hater of man taught him was the following: "Be sure not to tell your elder that I speak with you and teach you heavenly things, because then I will disappear and you will lose my help." Father John thought to himself, rather than losing my angel, I'd be better off not saying anything to Yerunda. Thus, free from Yerunda's intervention, the demon was able to weave his web deftly. So Father John stopped confessing his thoughts to Yerunda for a while, but Yerunda, as his spiritual father, was concerned with this change of behavior, and he asked him, "How are you doing, Father John?" "Well, very well." "Don't you have any thoughts you would like to confess?" No, I'm just fine." Respecting his reply, Yerunda didn't probe any further, but intensified his prayer about it. Since Father John had rejected God's help by not speaking to his elder, the demon thought, "He's mine now. I will finish him off." A few days later, the demon said to him, "Tomorrow is Sunday. After going to church in the morning, go to such and such a place, and I shall take you from there to heaven. I shall take you up in a fiery chariot to the Holy Trinity, just like the prophet Elias, and you will behold paradise and many other things." In the meantime, Yerunda, who was praying hard for Father John, felt very uneasy about him, and he called him into his cell and asked him to confess his thoughts. At first, he refused and claimed that he didn't have any thoughts to confess. But Yerunda put him on the spot, and then he admitted with hemming and hawing, "I'm sorry, Yerunda. Through your prayers I have been counted worthy to pray together with my guardian angel every evening for a while now. We agreed that tomorrow morning, after receiving communion at Papa Matthew's chapel, I would go to such and such a place, and the prophet Elias will descend to receive my soul with his fiery chariot." "Did your guardian angel perhaps tell you not to tell me anything?" "Yes, he did." He barely finished saying those words when Yerunda, like lightning, slapped him hard. "You deluded idiot! Satan had you in his grasp and was about to toss you down some cliff. You would have ended up in hell, and you weren't going to tell me anything." "But Yerunda, how could it be demonic?" "If it were an angel of God, why would he tell you not to say anything to me, your elder? An elder works together with the angels because he too is a servant of God, as are the angels. For him to tell you not to reveal anything means that he was not an angel but an evil demon who wanted to drown your soul. So, my child, go back to your cell. You're not going to church in the morning, and now we'll see if he ever comes back." Yerunda's words and his slap shook him. Whether he liked it or not, he had to be obedient and went back to his cell. Yerunda's prediction came true. The demon did not come back as an angel of God, but as he was in reality, a black demon. He said to Father John, enraged, "Didn't I tell you, you filthy monk, not to tell our secret to Yerunda?" As soon as Father John saw and heard this, he shuddered. He immediately ran to Yerunda, fell at his feet, and confessed everything to him, and with much gratitude. Behold what a spiritual guide does. God's enlightenment and Yerunda's experience did not let Father John be lost. We must have complete trust in our spiritual guide, because all elders and spiritual fathers keep a vigilant watch over the souls of their spiritual children. And in every battle a disciple has, his spiritual father is right there with him. When a disciple is completely obedient to his spiritual father, elder, and guide, this obedience is transferred to God, who accepts it and rewards it with his abundant grace. Later, Father John had intense carnal warfare and couldn't control himself. Yerunda gave him a strict regimen of prayer, while Yerunda himself also fasted and prayed hard for him. After 2 months, Father John was healed and was not bothered by that warfare again. Despite this, it wasn't long before he started doing other things displeasing to Yerunda. So, that's the thing. Humility is really important, because humility is part of the obedience. If you are obedient to your elder, your spiritual father, then as it says in there, you have his prayers and God rewards. And prayers are, God accepts prayers from a humble and contrite heart. And this is not meaning that you have to be obedient to somebody who is abusive to you. That's not the type of obedience I'm talking about. I'm talking about true obedience to an elder who is patient, loving, but stern and, a father. So it was important. I wanted to share that because I found it a very interesting story. Again, he thought that demon was his guardian angel. And here he's a monk. And, not even a person living in the world like us. We got to be really careful. Got to be really careful when these kind of things come about. So I hope you got something out of it. It was a beneficial story for you. Hope it made you really think. It did for me. And so I hope you're having a great evening. Thanks so much for watching, for following my channel, and supporting my channel and me. And I will be back later. Until next time.